Good evening. Welcome inside Alterowitz Gym here at Montana State University Billings. Great Northwest Athletic Conference men's basketball is back one more time this weekend. Final two home games of the 2021-22 regular season, and the games coming up this weekend are both big ones. Western Washington in the house tonight and Simon Fraser on Saturday. Hi again, everybody. Evan O'Kelly back with you to navigate you through this one. Well, these teams met on Monday in Bellingham, and it went the way of MSU Billings. They got off to a hot start and never looked back on the way to a 91-64 runaway victory over the Vikings. We'll see how Western Washington responds tonight, just 3 days later, since suffering the big loss to the Yellow Jackets. The first of three conference games on the schedule tonight across the league. We'll get to that and much, much more in just a couple of seconds, though. We're going to have starting lineups, our national anthem, and tip-off here at Alterowitz Gym. Glad you're with us here on the Yellow Jacket YouTube channel.
Here's the Western Washington Vikings versus your own MSU Yellow Jackets. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and face the flag as we honor America in the playing of the national anthem.
Yellow Jackets and Vikings set to do battle for Western Washington, entering this game at 12-11 overall, 5-8 in Great Northwest Athletic Conference play. Under the guidance of 10th-year head man Tony Dominguez, he'll start like this. Daniel Hornbuckle, the junior guard from Fairbanks, Alaska, wears number 3. R.J. Seacrest, the senior guard from Bremerton, Washington, he wears number 4. For Western Washington, D'Angelo Minnis, the sophomore guard from Kent, Washington, wears number 5. Jalen Green, he's a junior guard forward from Renton, Washington, wearing number 22. And Luke Lovelady, senior forward from Tacoma, Washington, wears number 25. Vikings going to try and get off to a better start than they did on Monday, right the ship and even this season series. Yellow Jackets, meanwhile, trying to make it a sweep. They've won 4 of their last 6, all of those coming on the road, and looking for their 3rd straight win here tonight. For Mick Durham's crew, it is his fourth season in charge of the Yellow Jackets. The senior guard, Damon Thacker from Meridian, Idaho, wears number 2. BJ Shabazz, the junior forward out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, wears number 4. Carrington Wiggins, the Yellow Jackets' top scorer. He's a junior guard from Flint, Michigan, and he wears number 13. Nicholas Sebastio, the freshman forward from Scottsburg, Indiana, wears number 24, and the big man underneath, Big E, Emmanuel Ejanaku, wears number 32. He's a 6'11 center from Lagos, Nigeria. As the Jackets are introduced here on the floor at Alterowitz Gym, and we get ready to tip this thing off right on time. First of 3 GNAC games tonight. As I mentioned, Simon Fraser is at Seattle Pacific University a little bit later on, as is Northwest Nazarene at St. Martin's. Those games not going to tip off until 8 and 8:30 Mountain Time, so still over an hour away. But once those get going, we'll provide you some updates as long as we are on the air tonight. Big stretch in the season here, just a couple of weeks left in the GNAC regular season, then everybody's headed to the West Coast for the conference tournament. That's right, all 10 teams on both the men's and women's side are in. Now it's just a matter of positioning. Ajanaku ready to tip it off with Love Lady. We're up and underway. Yellow Jackets have the first possession of the night. Carrington Wiggins gets it to Sebastio. Thacker up top. Thacker and Wiggins each had huge performances in the win over Western Washington on Monday. Wiggins with 28, Thacker with 20. Shot clock works down to 10 seconds on the opening possession of the night. Shabazz driving, right hand, and somehow gets it to go in traffic and heavily guarded. Not the best look for BJ Shabazz, but got it to drop, and the Jackets strike first. Hornbuckle cross-court pass to Love Lady, and the handoff to Minnis. Drives, kicks. Green pulls up, the jumper, got it. Well, the Yellow Jackets led at one point 24-4 on Monday at the 11:43 mark in the first half, and certainly don't expect to see that again tonight. But if you're MSUB, you'd like to get off to a similarly strong start offensively, and they've converted buckets on their first 2 possessions of the night, this one coming off the fingertip of Carrington Wiggins. Wiggins is the 6th leading scorer in the GNAC, averaging 17.3 per game to lead the Yellow Jackets. Open look here for Minnis, and he connects from the arc. So already a better start than Monday for Western Washington. They've got more points in the first 80 seconds than they did in the first 8 minutes on Monday. Minnis called for the foul. Check that, the foul is on Seacrest, not Minnis, so Seacrest picks up the early foul. 2 minutes in here at Alterowitz Gym, 5-4 Vikings in front. Yellow Jackets have started 2 for 3 and have buckets on each of their first 2 possessions. Shabazz. Back to BJ, open for 3, thought about it, now he tries and it gets stuck between the rim and backboard. Possession to the Vikings this time. Western trying to snap out of the mini skid. They've lost 3 in a row and 5 of their last 6, so the Vikings still have that record over 500, but trying to close the season strong. 4 games left for them, including tonight. Whistle's going to go against Shabazz, his first and the first foul on the Yellow Jackets in this one. Vikings work it around. 3 on the way from Hornbuckle, and Daniel Hornbuckle knocks it down. So the 3-point shooting hot early in this one for Western Washington. They've hit their first 2 tries of the night from the arc. That comes after going just 4 for 21 Monday, and Nick Sebastio answers on the other end for the Jackets. Back and forth start to this one. Vikings have the 8-7 lead. Looking to the wing. That's another good look. This time for Sechrist. Wouldn't go, and Sebastio with the rebound. But the Vikings are getting open from the arc, and that was their first miss. But the Jackets got to keep an eye on how much space they're giving, and now a turnover as Janaku couldn't handle the low bounce pass from Thacker. Minnis brings it across and calls out the play. Hornbuckle looking to get the ball underneath. He was fouled, thought for a moment it was tipped away, but the foul is going to go on Carrington Wiggins. First on Wiggins tonight. As I mentioned, Carrington 11 for 12 on Monday for his 28 points. They're going to say that Hornbuckle was in the process of going up for a shot, so he's at the line. It's the first. And he gets the second to go as well. 10-7 Vikings in front here. Just about 3.5 minutes into this one. Already a good game unfolding. Wiggins to Shabazz, working underneath on Green. Backs him down, right hand, offensive foul. Good defense by Green that time. Stayed straight up, drawing enough contact from the forearm of Shabazz that not only he commits the charge, but now he's got to come out with his second personal foul. That brings Malik Burkett into the game for the first time for the Jackets. So the Vikings get a stop, create a turnover. Now they work it around the perimeter. Good defense by Thacker to get a hand in and disrupt the flow of the pass from Hornbuckle. Wiggins nearly poked it free. Sechrist driving on Sebastio. Nick straight up, good defense, but it's tipped in by Lovelady. Yellow Jackets wanted a goaltend. Thought the ball was still on the rim when Luke touched it, but the Vikings opening up their largest lead, up 12-7 now. Minnis went to the floor, but no whistle. Now Thacker gets it to Ajanaku. One-on-one with Lovelady underneath. Ajanaku spinning around, good defense again, gets stuck and turns it over. Big shot here for Hornbuckle, wouldn't go. There's Lovelady, the offensive rebound. A putback good, and a timeout. That'll bring us to a media timeout. I don't think Mick Durham called it, but the officials wanted to look at something. In any case, we've got our first stoppage. The Vikings looking good to start, 14-7. Western Washington didn't shoot all that poorly Monday, 40.7%. They struggled from the arc at just 19%, but there have been worse shooting nights than 40%, most certainly. But tonight, Off to a hot start, 5 for 8 to start this one. Yellow Jacket ball coming out of the timeout, facing a 7-point deficit now. Another turnover. Driving and laying it in. Green, so not how the Jackets wanted their first possession to go. And a technical foul now has been issued on Lovelady, I believe. Must have said something down there on the floor after the steal and the bucket. And we don't really know what's said. Tony Dominguez having it explained to him now. Doesn't seem to be protesting all that much. So, well, nothing really going wrong for the Vikings early save for kind of a mental miscue, depending on what Lovelady said. But the Jackets need some kind of way to get some momentum. But Wiggins leaves the first of 2 technical free throws short. Or check that, just the one for Wiggins. So 16-7 after a poor set. The Jackets bothered by the press the Vikings are employing at the moment. Thacker guarded closely by Minnis, and he gets it across. Different energy tonight from Western Washington. The Jackets played so well on the Vikings home court. Well, through the first 5 minutes, Western all over MSUB. That was a 2 from Sebastio, and right place, right time for Wiggins to get the long rebound. Jackets really need a bucket here. Thacker had it swatted away. Steal from Lovelady. Minnis finds his bearings and then misses the mid-range floater. Putback no good. Ball still loose. And the Vikings recycle it for a new possession. Minnis will slow things down now. Western with a 9-point lead, and Minnis for 3 knocks it down from the wing. Vikings are now 3 for 4 from the perimeter, and now McDermott will take a 30-second timeout trying to stop the bleeding. Well, you know that the Tony Dominguez coach team is going to bounce back, going to find a way to win, and yeah, it may have been a 27-point victory for the Jackets Monday, but different story through the first 7 minutes of this one here tonight. And we mentioned, I won't call it desperation for Western because everyone's in the tournament and it's just a matter of seeding, but they've lost 3 in a row and 5 of their last 6, and you can bet that the emphasis when facing 4 straight road games to finish the regular season is going to be finding a way to finish strong and get tough, hard-fought victories. They're headed to Seattle on Saturday night to face the preseason favorite Falcons. That's never easy. So maybe urgency the right word, more so than desperation for Western Washington, but they've come out with fine-tuned urgency tonight, and they've got a 12-point lead. Wiggins, you can just see it in the defense from the Vikings too. Minnis, the energy, Green, all over the Yellow Jackets. I think I misspoke earlier, said the technical was on Lovelady. It was on Green. Good O-board from Ajanaku, who puts it back, and finally the Jackets snapped a scoring slump. They still trail by 10. Green, guarded by Briquette, tries the long jumper, knocks it down. Hot start for Jalen Green. He's got 6. Lovelady's got 6. So does Minnis. And still the same starters for Western. They haven't subbed yet, and we're 7 minutes into this game. Briquette to Sebastio. Drives. Had Finn in the corner. Instead, he's fouled. Brent Finn into the game for the Yellow Jackets coming out of the timeout. And Nick Sebastio is going to the line to shoot a couple free throws.
Nick Sebastio at the line, shooting 2.
And Sebastio knocks them down. Into the game is Dakota Ayala for Western Washington for the first time tonight. And for the Yellow Jackets, Sam Elliott's in there. 2 more games left in his career here at Alterowitz Gym. Longest tenured MSUB player is Sam Elliott, 4th-year senior. So the first substitution of the game for the Vikings with Ayala in the court now. Lovelady drives, takes it all the way. Rebound wildly being knocked around and into Sebastio's hands. Here's Wiggins. Looks for help and turns it over in traffic. Now Lovelady. Good find from Minnis, but the layup wouldn't go. And the long rebound to Seacrest. Vikings another second chance scoring opportunity here. Minnis tried to get it inside and did. Ayala double team, now wide open and dunking it down. Lovelady. Offense is flowing right now for the Vikings. They're already at the near the quarter century mark, I should say. 8 minutes in. Wiggins. Open for 3, Sam Elliott. Jackets would have loved that one, but it rattled out. Kind of damage control right now for MSUB. You want to try and keep this close and not let things get out of hand early as the Vikings did on Monday. Inside, Ayala, one-on-one, had it knocked away and he was fouled. That'll bring us to another media timeout. Vikings up by 12. Well, an area of emphasis for Western Washington rebounding. They got outboarded pretty good, 34-20 on Monday. Well, you can tell right away the effort level on the boards is among many things that has been much better tonight for the Vikings, and not that notable of a margin yet, just 6-5, but the energy's there, and they're going to try and whittle down a margin that was minus 14 just 3 days ago. Western ball coming out of the immediate timeout. They've got the 23-11 lead. Ayala tries a quick 3, left it short, and Elliott with the rebound. Thacker looking to push the tempo, taking it himself, up and under, right hand, wild shot, but he's fouled.
Foul number 25, Luke Lovelady. Damon Thacker will shoot 2.
So Thacker trying to get this back to a 10-point game if he can make the second. That's just his first point of the night, so it's been a slow start for the Yellow Jackets leading scorers. He and Wiggins now combined have 4. Minnis back in. Seacrest will get a break. And with the ball in his hands, Kai Johnson, his first minutes of the night. Also in for the Vikings, Lucas Holden. Ayala, one-on-one with Elliott. Steps inside, spins around, left hand, no good, and Thacker's there for the board. Now he's got an open lane. He takes it with the left hand, might have been fouled again. Instead, no whistle, but he gets the bucket. 4 quick points from Thacker. Jackets trying to make a run here midway through the first half. Three is good. We'll check that, just a 2, but Menace converts and the lead back to 10 points. Wiggins guarded closely by D'Angelo. They haven't given Carrington much space, and that's not surprising after he scored 28 on Monday. Contested layup, no good. More good defense by the Vikings. That one left short, and Elliott with the rebound. Now Thacker one-on-one with Holden. Takes it, right hand, a foul, and the bucket. Good strong take from Damon Thacker. And a good find from Sam Elliott. Hauled in the rebound and looked to get the ball up quickly to the star guard for MSUB. Green's back for the Vikings. Sebastio, Ajanaku, and Shabazz back for the Jackets. Thacker makes it a 3-point play. 25-18. MSUB has trailed by as much as a dozen. At the moment, it's a 7-point deficit. Good look for Menace from the wing, and he knocks it down. That's too good of a look to give Menace and the Vikings. Menace now with 8 points. Check that, make it 11. He's the first to double figures for Western. Thacker tries to respond, and he does. Looked like maybe a little miscommunication. Hornbuckle gesturing across the way to Johnson, but a big 3 in response from Thacker to keep it at a 7-point game. Tipped away from Ajanaku. Here comes Shabazz driving, and he's tripped. And they're going to give it to Western Washington. The Jackets can't believe it. Shabazz ended up on the floor. But it'll be Western ball after this timeout. Tony Dominguez taking a 30-second breather, so we'll keep it right here. The Yellow Jackets have this one and then Simon Fraser Saturday. That'll be their final home games. They close the regular season on the road at Central Washington next Thursday and at Northwest Nazarene next Saturday. Now we're going to get to the GNAC standings. It's a little bit complicated right now, and it's kind of up for debate how important it really is to spend a lot of brain power thinking about them. But at the moment, the reality is MSU Billings is in first place in the point rating system standings, which are eventually going to be used to determine the seeding for the conference tournament. Now, you got to take that with a grain of salt. The way the rating system works, if you're not familiar with it, it's based on your opponent's winning percentage at the end of the season. So any GNAC result can impact all of the other teams, whereas on a normal night, you're usually just talking about your direct opponent and the two teams closest to you in the standings. Well, as winning percentages shift with wins and losses, that impacts everybody. So it's quite a domino effect, hard to keep track of. The conference office has been publishing the updated rating system standings once a week. But I got to imagine, as Green makes the bucket, that if you're a coach of these teams, you got to tell your guys, just don't really worry about this right now. Too many things can change. We just need to focus on having the best finish to this season as we can, and however the standings shake out. we'll worry about that in a couple weeks. Another empty possession for the Yellow Jackets, a foul on the other end, and Johnson's headed to the free throw line. You can find the point rating system standings at gnacsports.com on the standings pages. We've got another media timeout, and I'll keep it right here with an opportunity to keep talking about this, but it's a very detailed explanation of how the point rating system works, published for consumption on the GNAC website. Head to the standings page, and you can see it there at the bottom. Now, the standings themselves right now are still listing the conference winning percentage, but it was determined by the athletic directors and presidents of the 10 GNAC members that it's not really fair this season to construct the GNAC standings based on the winning percentage because of all of the postponements and cancellations. Everybody is going to end up playing a different number of games, and that makes it really hard to compare based on winning percentage. So the point rating system adopted for this season only. It's a little bit fairer of a way to determine the champion and the seeding for the tournament. Now, it does matter because if you're in the bottom 4, then you have to engage in a play-in game to get to the tournament. So it's one extra game that you've got to play on your way to the GNAC championship. So you definitely still find a lot of value in the top 6, and it's important in determining the champion. Look, the team at the top of the PRS, that's going to be the GNAC regular season champion, so that's a title. And right now the Jackets have that spot. It's very fragile, as is every position in the PRS standings. But as much as a coach, you want your players to just ignore it because it can change so much. You're keeping that in the back of your mind, like, hey, we want to be top 6, or in the Yellow Jackets case, hey, we're in the hunt for our first regular season title ever. The Yellow Jackets won the 2012 GNAC tournament. That's the only conference crown they've won. Haven't been regular season champions. .7:45 to go. Vikings up 32-21. Najanaku working inside on Lovelady. Backs him down. Left hand. Not on the mark. And Green pushing the tempo and will now slow it down. Get it into the hands of Minnis and then Kai Johnson. Johnson, good look at a 3 from the wing, no good. Another offensive rebound. Now Green gets it up top to Holden, around to Minnis. So I'll put the PRS on the shelf for now. If you're interested in reading more and researching it yourself, head to gnacsports.com. Go to the men's basketball standings. 3 to shoot. Minnis, step back. Tough shot. Wouldn't go, and Thacker with the rebound. Good defensive set there for the Jackets as Green goes tumbling. Thacker in transition for 3, off the mark, and Ajanaku uses every inch of that 6'10" frame to tip himself the rebound. Sebastio for 3. That's no good, and the Vikings have it. Holden tries the tray. That's no good. Falling directly to Lovelady, and it bounced out of bounds. Malik Briquette back in for the Yellow Jackets. And MSUB doing a good job of keeping the deficit right where it's at. It's gotten no worse than 12. However, they'd love to close the half and get it a little closer. And Wiggins is called for a foul. McDurham trying to get an explanation on that from the near side official. Wiggins missed badly and is whistled for the foul. 6:12 to go in the half. Lovelady up top. Up and under, fancy move from Hornbuckle, but couldn't get the layup to go. Now Wiggins wide open and dunks it in transition. There's a little life out of Carrington Wiggins, slamming it down. 9-point game now. That got the crowd at Alterowitz Gym going. Tipped away. Possession stays with the Vikings. Now a whistle and a foul going to be called, I think, against Thacker, who's the one protesting for the Jackets. He's trying to explain to the official why he thought he was barged into, but he was called for being a little too close that time. Viking ball to inbound. Underneath and Holden fouled with the layup. Good take from Lucas Holden. Holden to try and complete the three-point play. Got it. Wiggins guarded closely by Minnis. Gets it to Sebastio. Back to a 12-point lead for the Vikings after the three-point play. Thacker pump fake into the lane, and he's fouled. Lovelady picks up the personal, and Thacker will have a couple free throws. Thacker hits the first. Dame with 11 points. He's perfect from the free throw line and stays that way, 5 for 5. He's got a dozen to lead the Yellow Jackets. They're trying to stay afloat here with 5:10 to go in the half. They trail 35-25. Hornbuckle up top. They're trying to get it inside to Green. Instead, it's Holden for three. That's no good, and Finn rises for the rebound. Thacker spins around and gets it to roll home. 5 quick points from Damon Thacker. And a nice 2-for-1 there for the Jackets. Little mini 5-0 run. They need a little bit more, though, going into halftime. Minnis guarded one-on-one by Wiggins in the corner. Seacrest driving, kicking. Holden tried to pass it up, had it tipped away. Gonna stay with Western Washington on the far side. Vikings have 7 seconds on the shot clock. Seacrest pointing up to it to make sure his teammates are aware. They got to hurry here. 5 to shoot. Hornbuckle tries the jumper, won't go, and Finn another rebound. Good stand here for the Jackets, playing their strongest yet in the closing minutes of the first half. They can make this a 2-possession game with a bucket here. Wiggins to Briquette. Thacker coming off the screen up top, and an illegal screen going to be called on Briquette. That'll take us to our final media timeout of the first half. Vikings up by 8. So it'll be Western Washington ball coming out of the timeout. And the Jackets are working on finishing this half strong, but they were stopped on their last possession. 3:47 to go before halftime at Alterowitz Gym. Double team on Seacrest. He finds help. Menace is open for three. Wouldn't go, and Ajanaku nearly jamming his finger on the rim as he snags the rebound. Here comes Finn to Wiggins. Jackets, another chance to make this a two-possession game. Carrington steps back, spins around, lobs it up, and Ajanaku wasn't ready for it. Hit off the backboard and a turnover. Johnson drives, has a lane, takes it with the right hand, and he's swatted by Thacker from behind. Dame got in there for the block. Now Wiggins, a long jumper, no good, but a whistle, and he's fouled.
That's number 1, Ty Johnson. Carrington Wiggins in the line, shooting 2.
Well, it's been a relatively quiet first half for Wiggins. He's got just 4 points. Remember, he leads the team, 17.9 points per game. That ranks him 6th in the GNAC, but Carrington now 0 for 3 from the free throw line. It's a little bit uncharacteristic for him. He's an 81.3% free throw shooter. Rarely misses, but he's 0 for 4 from the line. Green tries a long jumper, no good. And Ajanaku another rebound, clears it out and gets it to Thacker. 2:30 to go in the half. Dame up top, enough room for a three, wouldn't go, and Green with the rebound. Menace was looking to push. Now he finds Green, driving, block is the call, and it's a chance for a three-point play. Green went down hard. He's going to take a minute to get up here. I think he's okay. That was a fast play, and he's kind of grabbing that right hip area. I think Jalen's all right. He hits up a little gingerly, but going to head to the free throw line to try and convert a big three-point play. Thacker was trying to draw the charge. Instead, he's whistled for the foul. His second. The only Yellow Jacket in trouble, B.J. Shabazz. You haven't seen him for a while. It's because he's got 3 fouls here in the first half. So Green at the line. And no good. The lead, however, back to 10 points for the Vikings. Wiggins gets it to Sebastio and handed off to Thacker. Guarded by Johnson on the wing. Damon thought about a three, instead gives it up. Inside to Ajanaku with 8 on the shot clock. Had it tipped away. Big E keeps it, then throws it away. 2-on-1 for the Vikings. And then Johnson couldn't handle the return pass from Seacrest. Saw the idea, Johnson and Seacrest thinking about a little give and go, but a little bit out of sync. And we've got a timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout. So with 1:46 to go in the half, the Vikings started red hot and slowed down a little bit since, but they've still got the 37-27 lead. And it's about 20 minutes away from tip-off in Seattle. Simon Fraser at SPU, and then at 7:30 on the West Coast, Northwest Nazarene at St. Martin's. Those are the other 2 conference games tonight. One was canceled, Central Washington at Western Oregon, and we're so late in the season now that's not going to be made up. So up to this point, it had been all postponements, but just running out of time to be able to try and make anything up. This is the penultimate week of the regular season. Final minute 46 of the half. Sebastio to inbound, gets it to Burkett. Vikings staying in that press. It's worked for him early. Much better by Western compared to Monday night. Swatted away, Johnson with the turnover. A steal, I should say. It was Sebastio who had it knocked out of his hand. Inside of 90 seconds to go. Minas drives. Hands off to Ayala, who gets the left-hander to go home. Dakota Ayala with the bucket. Vikings equaling their largest lead yet at a dozen. Finn to Burkett. Thacker spinning around away from Minas. Tough look at the jump shot, and Wiggins is not able to keep the rebound, but it went out of bounds. Going to go to the Yellow Jackets. Now they're going to say that Burkett had possession, I think. So the shot clock at 20. And Yellow Jacket basketball. 51 seconds before halftime. Wiggins, double teamed. Tries a deep three. No good, and rebound into the hands of Seacrest. Vikings can't quite hold for the final shot. About 7-second differential between game and shot clock. But Minas in no particular hurry here with his team up by a dozen. Ayala's got it up top. They work it around to Hornbuckle. He tries the three over Finn and knocks it down. Big shot. Now the Jackets got to hurry. 8 seconds to go in the half. Wiggins lost it. Gonna stay with MSUB. So 5.1 on the clock. Now it's the largest deficit yet at 15, and if you're MSUB, you'd love to get into halftime at least on a bucket, because right now the Vikings have all the momentum. Thacker has to get it from the backcourt. Got to hurry. 1 second. Does he get it off? He does. The foul. It's an offensive foul. So the bucket's no good. Thacker at the buzzer whistled for the offensive foul. That is his third foul. The Jackets don't get a bucket, and possibly the worst way that last possession could have gone to close the half. So after 20 minutes at Alterowitz Gym, it's the Vikings 42 and the Yellow Jackets 27. We'll take a break and have some first half numbers for you coming up on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. Oh, hold on. Hold on here. The players are going to come back up. The officials are going to go to the monitor. So technically the clock says we're at halftime, but the officials are going to look at the play. I think they're going to look to see if there should be any time on the clock. I don't think they're going to look at whether or not it's an offensive foul on Thacker, but there may be a couple tenths of a second on the clock when the whistle went on Thacker. Is pretty close to being right at the buzzer, and honestly, maybe one that you just let kind of occur simultaneously. I suppose theoretically, if there's a foul called, there had to have been some time on the clock. So now the official's going to talk it over. They might put a couple of tenths on there, but you can't really have a foul in the run of play with the clock at 0. It's technically not possible. So we'll see what they do here. 0.6. Yeah, I think Western may just inbound this and head to the locker room. No sense in a home run pass and trying to tip something in. The Jackets just trying to get 5 players on the floor. A little bit hectic here. Half their team, I think, already in the locker room. So Tyler Neary and Anders Epperle just take off their warm-ups and get in there. Mick Durham kind of just looked to whoever was close, see if the Vikings try to do anything here. And Hornbuckle lets one fly at the buzzer way short. So after all that, still 42-27 Vikings at halftime. We'll be back with first half numbers. Glad you're with us tonight at Alterowitz Gym. Vikings up 42-27 here at halftime, and the result of a 44.4% field goal mark for Western, 16 for 36. They hit 5 of 13 threes. It's 38.5%. Both of those figures well ahead of the Yellow Jackets. MSUB shot 37.5%, 9 for 24 overall, and just 2 for 10 from three-point range. So the Jackets cold from the arc. MSUB does have a 20-16 edge in rebounds. The Vikings were good on the boards early on. The Yellow Jackets better as the half progressed. And really the glaring figure, 12 turnovers by the Yellow Jackets, 3 by the Vikings. They've protected the ball well. They've been pesky with their defense, and they've got the halftime advantage. 11 points for D'Angelo Minnis. That leads all Vikings. Jalen Green close behind. He's got 10. And Luke Lovelady, a real solid half, 6 points, 7 rebounds for him. 8 points as well for Daniel Hornbuckle. He hit a couple of three-pointers. Minnis hit 3 and Hornbuckle 2. That's all 5 of the trays for the Vikings between those two. It was Dame and Thacker and not much of anybody else for the Yellow Jackets. Dame had 14 points to lead everybody in the game, 4 of 9 shooting, and he hit all 5 of his free throws. But Dame picking up that third foul on the final play of the first half. So he's got 3. BJ Shabazz has 3. We'll see how much of a factor that is. Still a long ways to go in this ball game. But 5 points for Nick Sebastio and 4 for Carrington Wiggins. Emmanuel Ajanaku led the team with 5 rebounds. We'll take one more break, and when we're back, second half action coming up. Vikings in command ahead of the Yellow Jackets. So if the Yellow Jackets are going to extend this into a 3-game winning streak, they're going to have to overcome a 15-point halftime deficit. Same starters for the Vikings: Daniel Hornbuckle, R.J. Seacrest, D'Angelo Minnis, Jalen Green, and Luke Lovelady. And for the Yellow Jackets, same starters as well: Thacker, Shabazz, both in there with 3 fouls, Wiggins, Sebastio, and Emmanuel Ajanaku. Here we go, second half. Yellow Jacket ball to start. You've got to get a move on here. Wiggins drives, right hand, easy take, and there's a good first possession. If you recall, the first possession of the game for the Yellow Jackets didn't go well at all. The first possession of the half, that's more like it. Wiggins with a much-needed bucket. He's got 6 points here. He can score in bunches quickly. That'll be a key factor of this second half. Lovelady back to Minnis and underneath to Green. Wiggins closing out on Hornbuckle and then secures the rebound. Thacker to Sebastio, inside to Ajanaku, missed the dunk. Big E had it and he just threw it away. Sink was off that time with his hand. So that could be costly, an empty possession on a shot that's not going to get much easier. And Shabazz is fouled on the rebound. Seacrest kind of just plowed right through him.
Foul number 5, D'Angelo Minnis.
And that had to have been a mistake by the officials. They called the foul on Minnis. That can't be right. They've got to look at that because it was not Minnis, it was Seacrest. We'll see if they get that sorted out, but that's the wrong call on the floor. Meanwhile, the Jackets have the ball. Wouldn't actually be that much. Actually be better for the Vikings to have it on Minnis as Ajanaku lays it in. Minnis doesn't have any fouls. Now they're going to go look at that. Actually, if you're Western, you almost keep your mouth shut because that would have been Minnis's first. Instead, it's going to be the third on Seacrest. So, I mean, everyone in the gym knows that the foul was on number 4. That's the right call to make, and they're going to do that. But the Vikings actually going to come out a little worse for the wear after they change this. So hopefully this can be quick. I mean, the table crew, I think, just telling the officials, and the near side official who's by the table, I think he saw it too. He almost stopped the game, but now they're going to get this right, I think. So after all that, Viking ball. And Minnis will bring it across. A layup off the mark, but tipped in by Lovelady. And I was mistaken on that. That's just a second on Seacrest, so he's still fine. It's all academic at this point. The Jackets back down by 13. Sebastio driving and a tough take and a good finish by Nick, who's guarded by Seacrest, who was trying not to pick up what would have been his third. And Nicholas, a good strong take. 11-point game. Minnis is fouled by Ajanaku. Was trying to get around the man they call Biggie here in the Magic City, and just the first personal on Ajanaku. Minnis with the ball in his hands. Up top, Lovelady inside to Jalen Green, working a one-on-one with Shabazz. Uses that length, but misses the layup, and Ajanaku with his 6th rebound. Sebastio in transition is fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line, where the Jackets have, I won't say been lackluster, but 7 for 11. They've left 4 points out there from the line. Sebastio trying to make this a single-digit deficit. He gets the first. Yellow Jacket women are off tonight. It's their travel partner week, so they're headed to Seattle on Saturday. Just the one game for MSUB's women's team. They're in attendance watching the Jacket men, who now trail by 9, 44-35, early on in half number 2. Minnis trying to clear things out, set the play. Better defense from the Jackets here. Now D'Angelo drives, takes it left-handed, couldn't get it to go. Everything was good from Minnis there except for the finish at the end. A good stop for the Jackets. They're going to try and take advantage here. Thacker tries a long jumper and rimmed out short. Minnis looking to push the tempo. Now gets it to Lovelady, who tries the long jumper and knocks it down. Wide open look for Luke Lovelady, and he didn't miss. 46-35 Vikings up. Thacker driving baseline, pushed off of Minnis, and that's the 4th foul on Damon Thacker. He's going to have to come out with 16:07 to go, and it could be a while till Thacker goes back in. There's another variable that McDurham's going to have to manage, and if the deficit starts growing, you may be forced to go to Thacker sooner than you'd like to. He leads the way with 14 points, but got to sit down now with 4 personals. Hornbuckle's 3, no good. Shabazz the rebound. So Brent Finn in for what should prove to be a key stretch in this game, where the Jackets are without tonight's leading scorer. Foul's going to go on Daniel Hornbuckle, and that takes us to our first media timeout. Vikings by 11. So the Yellow Jackets talking it over, just trying to tread water, stay in this game, keep things close. They've done well at that so far. They trail by 11 here. Just over 4 minutes into the second half. Yellow Jacket ball underneath, Wiggins to take it out. Gets it up top to Shabazz. Green gives him some room for a 3, and BJ will take those. This time he misses it left. And a kickball on Shabazz. Minnis was trying to get it inside to his big man. Green, the 8th leading scorer in the GNAC at 15.7 points per game. That leads the team. Tonight he's got 10, so just about on pace for Jalen to hit his season average. 15 minutes to go. He's underneath, spins around, triple teamed, and makes the bucket. So Green's got a dozen now. The Vikings lead by a baker's dozen, 48-35. Finn looking for room off the screen. Shabazz, who just missed a 3, hesitated that time. Now Wiggins double teamed, and Green swats it out of bounds. You just notice with Green defensively, his active hands and his length earlier on the miss by Shabazz from 3. Jalen, it looked like was giving him a lot of room. I said that even on air that it was a lot of room, but gosh, in the matter of a split second, he got that right hand in there and affected Shabazz's shot, and most recently knocked the ball out of bounds, disrupting Wiggins, who is set to inbound now. Gets it up top to Ajanaku. Wiggins to run the point. Driving. Lovelady's there. Thought maybe it had to have been a travel, and they are going to call a double dribble on Wiggins. There would have been a foul, but first a travel. The Yellow Jackets' best stretch in this game came late in the first half when they cut this to a 7-point deficit, had 2 different chances to make it a 2-possession game, could not do so, and now they face a 13-point deficit, make it 16 on the tray by Jalen Green. He's got 15 points, and Mick Durham needs a timeout. 14:23 to go, 51-35, Vikings with their largest lead yet. Well, in a lot of ways, tonight's score thus far is a good representation of the GNAC, and what I mean by that is if you start trying to figure out who ought to beat who and who's better than who, it's just a ear-splitting headache. You can't figure anything out. I mean, the Jackets won by 27 points on the road 3 days ago against a team that they now trail by 16 3 days later at home. The Yellow Jackets won 4 of 6 games on the road, including winning at Seattle Pacific, the preseason favorite. Which game did they lose? They lost at Fairbanks, the last place team in the preseason poll, scoring 36 points. So you just can't get any sense of reason, and it's just a very balanced league, top to bottom. And you're just seeing it all over again tonight. It's not surprising. It's how it typically goes. But the Vikings responding well after a tough loss Monday. Still tons of time left in this one, but Western passing all the tests right now. Sam Elliott in the game. Wiggins looking for room, gives it up to Sebastio. Inside, Malik Burkett working on Lovelady. Tries the right-hand hook, and he got it. Game management now for Western Washington. How do you protect a 14-point lead with tons of time left? Just got to stick to good, solid offensive possessions as Green, a strong take. He's flying now, 17 for Jalen Green. Brent Finn driving. Got swatted by Lovelady, and then he saves it to Seacrest. Vikings coming the other way. Ryan pulls up and knocks it down. RJ, I should say, said Ryan. RJ Seacrest knocking down the jumper in transition. 55-37. 18 is the largest lead, and I feel like I've been repeating myself. That's because the Vikings keep building. Sebastio, a wild look at a three that wasn't close. Now a three in transition. That one way off the mark from Hornbuckle. Elliott's inbound. Jackets trying to chip away here. Without Thacker, he's got the 4 fouls. Wiggins trying to get something going offensively. Three-pointer and knocks it down. Big shot from Carrington Wiggins. That's his first tray of the night. Had been 0 for 2. He's up to 9 points now. Johnson back into the game, drives and throws it away. Wiggins didn't have the numbers, so he slows it down. Trail 3 for Sam Elliott. Rimmed out just short from Sammy. Sam clapping those hands. Knew he just missed that one. Needed a tiny bit more on it. Vikings will slow it down now. Minnis working it inside of 12 minutes to go. Johnson was looking for Lovelady inside. Wasn't there, so they'll push it back out. Now Minnis drives, hands off. Seacrest off the glass, no good. A whistle before the tip in. And Seacrest going to shoot too. Lovelady was there to clean it up, but the foul occurred on the shot attempt by Seacrest. Media timeout. Vikings are up by 15, 55-40. Good game unfolding over at Brome Pavilion in Seattle. The Falcons and Simon Fraser going back and forth, 22-21. SPU up. They're midway through the first half, and they're approaching tip-off in Lacey. Northwest Nazarene at St. Martin's. Those are the other two GNAC games tonight. Central and Western Oregon waived off due to COVID protocol. First free throw by Seacrest left short. The other two GNAC teams, Alaska Anchorage and Alaska Fairbanks, off tonight. They'll square off Saturday. 2 weeks left in GNAC play. 4 regular season games for the Yellow Jackets and Vikings, including this one tonight. Crunch time in the season. Both these teams in good shape in the GNAC standings. And Finn fouled with a chance for a three-point play. I don't know if it sucks a little bit of the drama out of things, but everybody's in the tournament, so it still matters. You still want to get top 6. You don't want to be in that play-in game, which the bottom 4 teams will be in. But in one sense, maybe it does decrease the urgency. I mean, during the regular season, if you're kind of on the bubble this time of the year, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, look, we got to win. We got to win to get into this thing. And now you wonder if maybe, well, it'd be nice to be top 6, but you know, we're in no matter what. You wonder how much that impacts the mental side of things for these teams. Finn made the three-point play. 13-point deficit now for the Yellow Jackets with 11 to go in the game. Good defensive set. 4 to shoot. Minnis looking for help. Turns it over. And a good stand there by the Jackets to get a stop. Wiggins trying to make it a 2-for-1. Steps back. Got Seacrest in the air, and RJ going to be called for the foul. Third on him. Green and Hornbuckle coming back. Seacrest and Johnson checking out for the Vikings. MSUB would love a bucket here. They got the three-point play from Finn. They got the defensive stop. Now Ajanaku to Finn. Sets the screen for him. Brent tries the long jumper. Brent Finn. They tried a big timber. 5 straight points. The deficit was at 18 a couple of minutes ago. Now down to 11 as we approach the final 10 minutes from Alterowitz Gym. Crowd picking up the energy a little bit now. Do the Yellow Jackets have a big comeback in them? Green double teamed. Gets it back to Hornbuckle. To the corner. Holden tries the 3 and he's fouled by Ajanaku. Big E kind of confused, but well, you can play good close defense, but you can't hit his arm. And I think E-Man just got too much of the left hand of Lucas Holden. So 3 big free throws coming. Holden rattles the first one in. Holden a 71.4% free throw shooter on the season. Averages 19.7 minutes, primarily off the bench. He's made 4 starts. But he's a big piece of this team, too, chipping in 7.2 points, and he makes all 3 free throws. It gets him up to 6 points in the ball game, so he's right on his season mark, just about. Inside of 10 to go. Ajanaku was looking for Finn and threw it away. The Yellow Jackets wanted a deflection. Instead, a bad pass as Ajanaku and Finn not on the same page on the cut to the basket. Just feels a little like every time the Jackets get close, the Vikings swipe back momentum. It happened at the end of the first half, and now Jalen Green, who's been unstoppable lately, makes it a 5-0 run by the Vikings to counteract the 5-0 scoring run by Brent Finn, and we're right back to a 16-point game. Wiggins drives baseline in traffic. The reverse layup good. Menace in command. The sophomore out of Kent, Washington, trying to dictate tempo here. Vikings trying to eat up clock. Underneath, Lovelady. Extra pass. Green says, I'll step back for a three, but left it short. A lot of contact on the rebound, and Sebastio's the one to end up with it. Shabazz looking to push. Spins around in the lane, right hand. No good. Gets his own board. Patiently goes up, and he's fouled by Green underneath. Good stuff from Shabazz.
Foul number 22, Jalen Green. BJ Shabazz at the line, shooting 2.
Just a second personal on Green. The Vikings not really in foul trouble. Lovelady and Seacrest with 3 each. Not too terribly concerning with 8:35 to go for the Yellow Jackets, of course. The big one, Thacker with 4. He has to come back now. It's now or never for the Jackets to try and get back into this one. They've kept it close and manageable and within reach, but you gotta start making a move here. Shabazz helps with a couple free throws. The deficit at 13. Three points on the night for BJ Shabazz. And I misspoke. He made just one of the 2 free throws. Lovelady driving, kicking, and a blocking foul called on Thacker, and he's out of the game. Unbelievable. Thacker was in for all of 20 seconds. He's now fouled out. So, frustration for the Yellow Jackets senior. And it's certainly not going to help things over the final 8:20. They're without their second leading scorer and in a lot of ways their best player. Wiggins and Thacker. You know, you could sit down and debate all day who's better. They don't really care. Those guys just love playing together and have all the support in the world for one another, but you're going to have to come back without Dame now. Holden for 3. No good. The rebound still loose. Still loose. Is it in? And it somehow gets to Malik Briquette. Finn one-on-one with Lovelady in transition. The reverse layup no good. Thacker finishes with 14 points. Menace for 3. Doesn't shoot all that often, but liked the look he got there. He's a little too strong with it. D'Angelo, 3 for 4 from the arc tonight. Make it 3 for 5 now as Wiggins makes the bucket and has a chance for a 3-point play on the other end. Media timeout. Vikings up 61-50. Well, the good news for the Yellow Jackets, this one's still far from over. They look up, and somehow they're trailing by just 11 in this game. They're going to have to do it without Thacker, but lots of time left. 7:39 to go. Wiggins going to try to make it an even 10-point hole that the Jackets will have to climb out of. Certainly been Western Washington command from the start tonight, but it's been a good ball game, and the Jackets have done enough to be in a position where they've still got a chance here. Over the final 7.5. Wiggins, just something. He's off with it. He's 0 for 5 from the line. I don't know what's up with Wiggs from the free throw line. Normally he's almost automatic, almost 82% on the year, 0 for 5 tonight from the free throw line. Vikings nearly turned it over, but acrobatics from Minnis to save it. Six to shoot. Minnis driving, kicking, turned it over. Good defense. Here comes Finn the other way. Had it stripped away. Wiggins wanted it on the wing. Was going to have a good look at a three. Instead, the Vikings get it right back. Good recovery from Western there. Three there would have been huge. Would have cut it to 8. Instead, still double-digit lead for Western. Minnis guarded by Finn. Hornbuckle tries the tray. In and out. Lovelady, the putback good. Lovelady's got a dozen. 3 Vikings in double figures. Green with 19 to lead the way. And Minnis has got 11. Wiggins, a lot of contact. Green going to be called for the foul. That's his third. Lejaniku back for the Jackets and Seacrest back for Western Washington.
Seacrest in for Western Washington.
So Wiggins back at the line, which has been his nemesis tonight, 0 for 5. It's very unlike Carrington, such a premier shooter. There he goes. You know, that one had to feel good. And look, this guy works harder than anybody. He prides himself on making the free ones, and he almost always does. Burkett back in for the Jackets. And Wiggins hits them both. Vikings by 11, 6:15 to go. Hornbuckle working underneath to Green, who draws a double team, and he throws it away. Wiggins trying to push. They've got numbers, 3-on-1. Ajanaku underneath, dunks it home. Big E with a big dunk in transition, and now it's a 9-point game. Can MSUB get another stop here? Minnis. Hornbuckle up top, tries to pull up jumper, got it. Big bucket from Daniel Hornbuckle. And a quick timeout on the floor. So the score now 65-54, Vikings in front. And it's going to stretch to a full timeout. We'll step away. Don't go anywhere. This one getting good down the stretch. Hornbuckle quietly has put up 10 points for the Vikings. He's been key tonight in 31 minutes. That last jumper helping to reestablish the double-figure lead, 65-54, Western in front. Janaku up top to Finn. Jump shot, got it. And Finn drains one from the elbow. He's been big for the Yellow Jackets, particularly in the absence of Thacker. Finn now with 5 points. Minnis to Green. Hornbuckle tries the three. No good. Rebound kicks all the way out of bounds.
Number 15,
Dakota Ayala back in for the Vikings. He's the Concordia transfer, by the way, and good to see Dak back out there on the floor. He was a star for the Cavaliers, who, of course, had the university close on him in the spring of 2020. So Ayala able to transfer. We've seen several of those Concordia players, Hunter Sweet and Caleb Larson up at Anchorage. Ayala with the Vikings. He's in there as Wiggins is fouled on the three-point attempt by Minnis. Just the first foul on Minnis tonight. He's been exceptional as always, and this becomes a huge trip to the line. Wiggins could make this a two-possession game. He's got to make them all. Hear a pin drop in Alterowitz Gym. The crowd giving Carrington Wiggins the floor. Next one off the mark. And Wiggins goes 2 for 3. So it's still been a tough night for him. He's 4 for 10 from the free throw line. Jackets hanging in there, trailing by 7, 4:22 to go. Hornbuckle working off of Ayala's screen. Underneath, Lovelady dunks it home. Big finish for Luke Lovelady, and now they calling another technical on him. That's the second technical foul on Luke Lovelady. And so he's going to be out of the game. And this one, so there's a little confusion earlier. The first technical on Lovelady in the first half didn't count as a personal or a team foul. This one will, but he's still out there, so I guess, I mean, it's his second technical, but maybe the first one because it was a Class B technical. He's able to stay in. I don't recall the last time we've seen a player pick up 2 techs in a game. Wiggins. Hits them both. That's big. Well, again, I don't know what Lovelady said, but that must have been what it was. He didn't hang on the rim or anything. I mean, he dunked with Janaku right on his back. Dunked strong in a huge moment in the game. He must have, again, said something. But that's big because it essentially negates his dunk that he had. Wiggins got those back, and the Jackets have the ball to try to cut it to a 2-possession game once again. Burkett to Finn. 10 to shoot. Brent lays it up and in. 5-point game. Heating up at Alterowitz Gym, 67-62. Minnis double teamed. Now gets it to Lovelady. The Jackets getting closer, trying to complete the comeback. And Janaku nearly bumped Seacrest, nearly thrown away. And it Here comes Finn. Driving all the way off the glass. No good. Burkett's putback. No good. Malik with the rebound and traffic with 3 Vikings. The Jackets have it now. They'll settle it down. Lots of time left. 3:06 to go. But a bucket here makes it a 1-possession game. The Jackets have trailed by 18. 2 to shoot. Wiggins a deep 3. No good. There's Sebastio with the rebound. Finn driving. Makes the floater. And the crowd going nuts now. A 3-point game. Hard to believe, but the Jackets are back in it. 2:36 to go. A thunderous chant of defense now coming from the bleachers. 67-64, all underneath. Nearly threw it away. Menace for 3. No good. And the rebound to Sebastio. 2:14 to go. Jackets could tie it with a 3. We'll see what Mick Durham and Wiggins want to do here. What a game. Wiggins drives. The floater's good. 67-66. The Vikings clinging to the lead and call timeout. 1:54 left. And the Jackets feeling it on their home floor. Well, I'll take you back to the 8:20 mark here in the second half. The Vikings led 61-48, the 13-point lead. Damon Thacker checked in with 4 fouls and almost immediately fouled out of this game. At that point, things weren't looking good for the Jackets. Their second leading scorer done for the night, facing the 13-point deficit. Fast forward 6 minutes later, and MSUB within a single point. Now it'll be Viking ball coming out of the timeout. That was Western Washington's final timeout. So the Vikings can't stop the clock over this final 1:54. The Yellow Jackets, meanwhile, still have 2 timeouts in their back pocket. What a finish here at Alterowitz Gym. Menace to bring it across. Guarded by Wiggins up top. Green double teamed. Open. Seacrest for 3. Left it short. Sebastio with the rebound. Wiggins to bring it across. Finn, as we approach a minute. Burkett to Wiggins, 8 seconds to shoot. Carrington driving, up and under! I don't know how Carrington Wiggins got that one to go, but for the first time since the 18:37 mark in the first half, the Jackets have the lead. 1 minute left, Menace's jumper no good. Lovelady with the rebound. Hornbuckle drives, his layup won't go. What a run by the Jackets, 46 seconds. And they've got the lead. Finn guarded by Menace, hands off to Sebastio. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Wiggins wants it himself. Driving. The jumper, no good, and Hornbuckle the rebound. The Vikings can hold for the final shot. Lovelady, the dunk, no good, but a foul. Luke was going to try and dunk it home, give the Vikings the lead right there. Well, hard to think in that situation if you're Lovelady to hold up and set up a shot, but that's probably the best you're going to get. So 2 huge free throws coming from Lovelady. And Mick Durham calls a timeout. A full timeout for Durham and the Yellow Jackets. Unbelievable comeback. This could still go either way, but the Jackets have erased an 18-point deficit. They lead 68-67. I don't believe it. After winning by 27 3 days ago in Bellingham, it was looking like the Vikings had flipped the script and were going to even this season's series. They still might, but if they do, it'll be just barely. Looks like they're at halftime in the Emerald City. Seattle Pacific leading Simon Fraser 44-33, and it's early in Lacey. St. Martin's up 14-7 on Northwest Nazarene. We're going to get done first tonight in the GNAC, but it's hard to imagine a more exciting game than this one. Felt like maybe it was even over at one point, but the Jackets just doing enough to stick around, and now they are in front. So here's the situation. Lovelady's at the line to shoot 2. He makes them both. The Vikings have the lead. The Jackets are going to have tons of time. 16.2 seconds on the clock, and they've got a timeout. So you'd like to think MSUB going to have a great look, whether it's to break a tie or to overcome a 1-point deficit. First free throw, not even close. And a huge miss here. Getting loud at Alterowitz Gym. Lovelady's second. Rattles around and in. We'll see what Mick Durham wants to do. 16.2 seconds. Does he want to use this final timeout? We're tied at 68-68. Wiggins gets it across. No timeout. 7 seconds in the hands of Carrington. Wiggins driving. Contact, the left hand, no good. Still loose, and we're going to overtime. What a finish, and we're not done yet. 68-68 after 40 minutes. And we'll have 5 extra minutes at least to decide this one. Just a classic GNAC matchup here tonight. Carrington Wiggins, you knew it was going to be in his hands, and the Vikings defended him well. I mean, you just know that he's going to be the one to take the final shot, and it wasn't a good look for him. The left-hand layup nowhere close. But, you know, Western was sweating it a little bit there. Mick Durham electing not to call the timeout, and I think that's kind of right in line with his general philosophy. Just let the players flow, especially a player like Wiggins. He's so creative. So you think, should he have called a timeout and drawn something up? No, you just let the guys play and try to give your top scorer a chance to make the final shot. He didn't, but all good on the front of MSUB. As a game that they trailed by 18 points is now all level. The Jackets lost 68-67 in overtime to Northwest Nazarene on December 2nd right here. Then they beat Central Washington 2 nights later, 66-64. They lost to St. Martin's 70-68 on this floor. And tonight, another one that's going to come down to the wire. The Yellow Jackets won in overtime at Western Oregon. 87-79 as the tip goes to MSUB. This is the third overtime affair of the year. MSUB's 1-1 in games going to the extra 5 minutes. Ooh, nearly a turnover, but instead a kickball. So the only player who's in foul trouble is Lovelady. He's got 4. No one else has more than 3. Wiggins steps back and got it. Long 2 from Carrington Wiggins. 23 for Carrington. The Jackets have the first bucket overtime. Hornbuckle to Green. And he traveled. Green was red hot right there in the middle of the second half. But the entire Viking offense cooled off at the end of regulation, and Jalen traveled. All of this without Damon Thacker for the final 8:20 of regulation, plus however long we play. Wiggins for 3! Got it! Carrington Wiggins has matched his point total from Monday night when he paced the Jackets to a win over the Vikings. Now he's got his team up 5 in overtime. Hornbuckle tries to answer, no good. Green has the long rebound. And Seacrest stepped out of bounds. Unbelievable, a traveling violation. And then Seacrest steps on the sideline. Everything going MSUB's way. Five-point lead in the ball. Sebastio underneath and an offensive foul. So the Vikings atone for the step out of bounds and get a turnover on the other end. Big stop there for Western Washington. The Vikings beat Alaska Anchorage 93-91 in overtime on January 31st. Lost to Simon Fraser 82-80 in overtime on December 4th. So they, like the Yellow Jackets, are 1-1 in overtime games. Like we've got a timeout on the floor. The official's gonna look at something here. There may be an issue with the hardware above the basket on the east side of the gym. The operations staff at MSUB unplugging and plugging back in the apparatus that is connected to the shot clock and game clock above the rim, and it's back on. So that had gone off momentarily, and that's back on. So that's what the delay was all about. But it's Western Washington ball with 3:20 to go in overtime. What a game. The Vikings coming up empty on their first 3 possessions of overtime. Green underneath with Briquette on him. Pump fakes, then tries to floater, and it's good. Jalen Green with 21. 1 possession game with 3 minutes to go. 1 timeout for Western, 2 for the Yellow Jackets. Briquette over to Sebastio. Janaku working it around to Finn. 6 to shoot. Brent drives. Right-handed layup, no good. And the rebound to Lovelady. Hornbuckle's up court, but Sebastio a nice job to get back and prevent what would have been an easy layup. Vikings can tie with a 3 now. Minnis drives. Did he walk? Yes! Wiggins got behind him and gave enough room for Minnis to take an extra step. Timeout on the floor. 2:21 to go in OT. Another big stop for the Yellow Jackets. There have been 2 traveling violations and a foot that nicked the sideline paint for the Vikings here in this overtime period. The Jackets have the lead in the basketball with 2:15 to go. Wiggins, guarded by Minnis, near half court. Sebastio looks for Burkett underneath. Jalen Green all over him, playing good defense. Burkett gets it back out to Sebastio with 7 on the shot clock. Wiggins got to hurry and make something happen. Steps back, 2 players on him, and he travels. Outstanding defensive set from Western Washington there. Green underneath, giving Burkett no room to work with, and that was enough to whittle down the shot clock and get Wiggins to take a bad shot, which he didn't even get off because he walked. Now 1:43 to go. Green, one-on-one with Burkett. He's got 21. Corner for Seacrest. Quick catch and shoot, and nearly tied it. It was in and out. That had the Viking bench up and jumping. But the Jackets clinging to the lead still inside of 90 seconds to go. Janaku, a bucket here would be huge. Finn driving. Blocked by Green, and Burkett saves it. Now Finn for 3. Good! With 14! The largest lead of the game for the Jackets, coming at the biggest time. Minnis' layup no good, and inside of a minute, Wiggins is fouled. Well, are they going to say Finn's foot was on the line? The scoreboard says 75-70. And they must have called it a 2 on Finn. And Wiggins left it short. Can't blame him. This has been a gutted out, grinded out game into overtime. So I misspoke. If that had been a 3 from Finn, then it would have been the largest lead. But they said his foot was on the line. And the second free throw from Wiggins makes it a 6-point game. 56.9. Vikings got to hurry. Minnis with urgency. There's Nick Velp into the game for the first time tonight for Western. A lot of time coming off the clock here. Good defense from the Jackets, and then a foul as Minnis tried to split Ajanaku and Wiggins. Ajanaku picking up the foul. Just his 3rd. Nick Sebastio with 4 fouls for the Jackets. Lovelady and Seacrest each with 4 fouls. Holden's back in there as well for Western. Minnis makes the first. 41 seconds even left in overtime. Shabazz coming back for MSUB. This might be the very best one of the year here at Alterowitz Gym. We've had 3 games decided on the final possession this season, and feeling like we're going to have a 4th. Timeout Vikings, 4-point game. If you're Western, you don't have to foul immediately. That is probably what Tony Dominguez was emphasizing in his final timeout. Western is out of timeouts. The Jackets have 1. You don't have to foul immediately, but you got to go for a quick turnover. And if you don't get it, eventually you're going to have to stop the clock somehow. Full court press. Shabazz gets it to Ajanaku, back to BJ, and he's fouled by Green. So maybe they did say they wanted to foul immediately as they wrap up Shabazz, who's not a good free throw shooter, 66.7% on the year. Normally, I'd say the Jackets would want it in the hands of Wiggins to shoot the free throws, but he's 7 for 14 tonight from the line. And look, he's got 29 points. He hasn't done much of anything wrong tonight, but it's just surprising because of how good of a free throw shooter Carrington is that he's having an off night from the line, but far from an off night overall. Carrington 10 for 16. Shabazz trying to get this back to a 6-point game. And he does. 37 seconds. Minnis pushing the tempo. Green. No room for a 3. Hornbuckle. Now Green steps back for 3. Rattled out. Ajanaku had the rebound fall out of his hands to Ayala. Holden from the corner. Got it! The Jackets pushing the tempo. Well, the Vikings got the 3 ball. It took a lot of time, but a huge shot from Lucas Holden. Remember, Western can't stop the clock, so no quick timeout available there. The Jackets, you could see, got the ball in quickly to avoid the press, and now Wiggins at the line for 2 more huge free throws. You got to keep this at a 2-possession game if you're MSUB here. Need at least 1 make with 19.1 on the clock. First one, good. Jackets 1 timeout left. And when they need it the most, Wiggins hits them both. McDermott going to take that final timeout. Back to a 5-point game with 19.1. And it was good movement from Western Washington. They got a great look from the corner and a gutsy shot by Lucas Holden, but they can't take that much time again. They could afford to do that once, but now in a 2-possession game, this shot's got to come in the first 5 to 10 seconds of this possession if they're going to have enough time to either get a turnover or withstand another foul and hope for missed free throws. But no matter what they're talking about in that huddle, it has to go quick here. The Jackets trying to pull off, I won't say an unthinkable comeback, but boy, when they trailed by 18 It was tough to see a path back, yet here we are, 19.1 seconds away from an MSUB win. Minnis got to hurry. 16 seconds. Vikings trail by 5. Need a quick shot. A lot of time off. Minnis tries a 3, and he got it. Huge make from Minnis. Now 10.4 on the clock, and that changes everything. The Jackets can't turn it over. They almost do. Tied up. Jump ball going to go to the Vikings. Unbelievable. D'Angelo Minnis had to hit it, and he did. Now 7.1 seconds. Western basketball. They could tie or take the lead with a 3. Holding to inbound. Holden to get it in, 7.1. Green, guarded by Shabazz, driving. 3 seconds, turnaround jumper, good! 2 seconds on the clock. Can the Jackets get one more shot up, or are we going to double overtime? Home run ball caught by Green. Minnis from half court at the buzzer, paints it in! Oh my goodness! D'Angelo Minnis has made a half-court buzzer beater to absolutely stun everybody here and everyone watching. And it got off before the buzzer, and it was good, and nobody can believe it. A once-in-a-lifetime kind of shot from D'Angelo Minnis. They're going to check the monitor to make sure. But how in the world did the Vikings just pull that off? You won't see a bigger make anywhere this season than that. Absolutely shocking, and the official's going to look at it, but it was off, and I think everyone knows it. And it's just shocking and unbelievable. Oh my goodness. Now the scoreboard in the gym says 80-80, but the shot was good. So I don't know whether they're looking to overturn this or to confirm. It should be 83-80. Oh my goodness. That's one of the most incredible plays you're ever going to see in a college basketball game. D'Angelo Minnis, and not only the unbelievable shot, now here's the officials still looking. They're going to have the other official go look at it, but not only did he bank it from half court, remember the 3 he made right before that. You had to have a 3 and then a turnover and then a miracle shot, and that's what happened, and it's good, and the game is over, and I can't believe it, and neither can anybody else here. Unbelievable game at Alterowitz Gym. Sports Center Top 10. There's your number 1 play of the day, D'Angelo Minnis from beyond half court at the buzzer. And Western Washington wins a game they led by 18, trailed by 6 in overtime, but when it's all said and done, the Vikings 83, the Yellow Jackets 80. I'm exhausted. I don't know about you, but that was absolutely incredible. Wow. So that's going to be a tough one to swallow for the Yellow Jackets. It was theirs to win. It was in their grasp. And Daniel Hornbuckle is still down on the court. His teammates are in the locker room. He has a look of disbelief on his face. He can't see it. And I'd venture to guess, if you asked any of the players on the floor, they've ever seen anything like that in a game they've been a part of. Maybe one or two of them have had a buzzer beater or half-court make, but a half-court banked-in tray at the buzzer in overtime? I'm just speechless. Wow, what a finish. So Minnis finishes with 19. 6 of those coming in the final 10 seconds. Jalen Green led the way with 23 points. Luke Lovelady 15, and Hornbuckle finished with 10. Wiggins with another classic effort, 31 for Carrington. 14 for Damon Thacker before he fouled out midway through the second half, and 13 off the bench for Brent Finn. Final numbers, the Vikings shot 43.1% overall. The Yellow Jackets rallied after a tough first half and shot 48.2% in the game. But MSUB made just 4 of 16 threes. That's 25%. The Vikings made 9 of 32 from the arc. The Yellow Jackets 22 of 30 free throws. The Vikings 12 of 15. MSUB out-rebounded them again, just like they did on Monday, 39-32. And the Jackets 20 turnovers and just 11 for Western Washington. Well, we're glad you were with us for that one. And that's got to be the GNAC game of the year so far. Just unbelievable the way that one came to a close. So we'll reset and do it all over again on Saturday. It's senior night at Alterowitz Gym. Simon Fraser coming to town. And SFU midway through the second half, trailing Seattle Pacific 58-41. And one final update there, almost at halftime in Lacey, 32-23, St. Martin's leading NNU. But here, in the most dramatic fashion you can imagine, in a moment that D'Angelo Minnis will never forget, in overtime, he banks in a shot from beyond half court to give the Vikings an 83-80 win. Evan O'Kelly going to sign off. And we'll be back with you on Saturday for senior night. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll be back with you soon.